Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Talking eBay. Special episode today. We're going to talk about the eBay seller check-in, the spring seller check-in. That's what we're going to talk about today. This is just a quick intro. I'm going to let you know I'm going to actually play the whole video, actually the whole audio file of the spring seller check-in so you can hear what's going on. So listen very carefully. It's almost around 45 minutes long, so I want you to hear what's happening. You can hear all the information. So if you missed it, listen to me and you can hear the whole replay right here. I also want to give a shout out to William and Mary. Yes, we are going to do your store reviews. That will be the next episode, so stay tuned. We're going to look at those stores and take and see what they have to offer, and I will give you my suggestions on your stores. So thanks for being sellers. Thanks for listening to Talking eBay. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot to me, guys, when you reach out to me at talkingebay23@gmail.com. I really do appreciate that. So let's get into it real quick. Don't want to take up too much time. This is a long podcast. You'll listen to the whole eBay episode. You'll hear what's going on with AI. You'll hear what's going on. And also eBay in person. They didn't give us a date, but they gave us a month. The month will be August. We don't know the exact date yet. I don't know why they take so long to figure this stuff out. It's not rocket science. You get a room, you figure out how many people, and you get a date. I mean, come on. Whatever. So it's going to be August. We don't know exact date yet, but as soon as I know, you'll know. So that's how we'll do it. All right, let's get into the episode, and I'm just going to finish it off with this. And at the end of the conference, that'll be the end of this podcast. But I really do appreciate everyone tuning in and listening to Talking eBay. And the next episode will be really jam-packed with all kinds of store reviews and information and anything else that we can come up with in the future with eBay. So many things are happening right now. A lot of exciting things with AI. I got a lot to share with you, so stay tuned. All right, let's get into the episode.
Hello, everyone. Wow, what a fun way to kick off our spring seller check-in. Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Happy 2025 to everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. I saw so many first-timers in the chat. Applause to all of you, as well as a lot of people who are returning. I definitely recognize a few names in the chat. So if you're new here, I am Rebecca Michaels, and I lead the U.S. Seller Community and Engagement team. And my team is responsible for connecting with sellers across many key channels, including the community forums, seller events like these, eBay seller socials in local areas, and then my personal favorite, which is the local in-person meetings hosted by sellers for sellers. So thank you all again so much for being here. I'm going to give a quick rundown of the platform and the agenda for the newcomers and for everyone here today. So before we dive in. So if you look at the right side of the platform here, you can see the chat and the QA functions. Chat's where you can comment and get to know other sellers who are here today. Then the QA tab is for questions that you have for the eBay teams who are on hand to answer you in real time. Once a question is answered, you'll find the response directly underneath that question. Now, if you'd like to turn on captions for the event, you can do so by simply clicking that caption button in the right-hand menu near chat and Q&A, and captions will show up within this portion of the screen. And with that, let's jump into the agenda for today. We're going to kick it off with some announcements and business updates from myself and from Dawn Block, our VP and GM of US Market and Global Selling. She's going to talk about some exciting updates for our business. And then a few of our experts will give some more updates on recent upgrades that we've made to stores and the listing process. And then we're going to have a pre-recorded interview between eBay's Senior Director of Personalization Science, Heather Thibodeau, and an eBay seller in 2024 Up and Running grantee. And that's Amanda Rowland, who's joining us to discuss how AI is impacting both eBay and your businesses. After all of these topics, I'll be back to recognize a few outstanding members of the seller community and provide a small teaser about eBay Open 2025. Bet you can't wait for that. Then we'll adjourn from here on the main stage, and everyone can make their way to one of our 4 deep dive sessions today. Our topics include AI, fashion, 1099K, and how you do all those forms, as well as tips and tricks from our seller advocacy team. And then in our final half hour, we'll break out into networking rooms hosted by a great group of sellers who are ready to mix and mingle. But first, I want to highlight a way for you all to connect with us after the event and enter to win $100. To celebrate hitting 20,000 followers on Instagram, that's right, 20K, we will be giving away 20 $100 eBay gift cards. The giveaway will run from today, March 7th through March 14th. And to enter, make sure you're following at eBay for Sellers on Instagram. Then all you have to do is tag a friend in the comments, and then you'll be entered for that chance to win. And to view the full terms and conditions, you have to check out the link in the bio on our Instagram. We'll be dropping the link to our Instagram in chat, or you can scan the QR code right now with your phone, and that'll take you right to our account. Now I'm going to pass things over to Dawn to take us through the state of the business, as well as other places that eBay is showing up for sellers. Over to you, Dawn.
Hi there. Oh, thanks. Hey, Rebecca, thank you for that warm welcome. Well, I saw quite a few new attendees in the chat, so I'm going to take a quick minute and just introduce myself. Hey, everybody. I'm Dawn Block, and I have the pleasure of leading the U.S. business here at eBay. Today, I'm here to share a few updates about our business and how we are driving sales, as well as some exciting updates in the world of fashion and apparel. eBay is always working to drive more buyers to your listings. We already partner with a number of sites, including Google Ads, to showcase your inventory to interested buyers. In January, we announced that we are partnering with Facebook Marketplace to showcase eBay listings, not only in the US, but also in Germany and France. Facebook has more than 3 billion users globally. We are excited about these users, as in our research phase, we discovered they have little overlap with eBay's existing buyers. On your part, no action is needed. As long as your account is in good standing, your listings could appear on any of our partner sites, including now Facebook Marketplace. We are also making investments that allow us to provide a full service buyer experience, like our acquisition of Caramel. With eBay and Caramel joining forces, buying a car on eBay will become a simple and seamless process. We will handle the title and identity verification, insurance, financing, and even shipping the car to the buyer after purchase. Our investment in the motor space has paid off, as we now have over 700 million live P&A listings, which continues to drive buyers to our website. Last week, we announced eBay had 2 consecutive quarters of active buyer growth, with 134 million buyers on our platform. Buyers in our enthusiast categories spent more than $3,100 on average last year on eBay. Also this week in the news, we are closely monitoring recent developments in global trade, including changes in tariffs and import regulations, as we understand these shifts may affect your business. Our top priority is to keep you informed and assist you in navigating any potential changes. While adapting to the evolving global trade landscape can be challenging, we are here to support you every step of the way. If you use eBay International Shipping, eBay will automatically calculate and update costs for appropriate customs, duties, taxes, and charges. Sellers do not need to take any action, and eBay International Shipping will continue to manage international logistics and seller protections. To check if you are opted in to eBay International Shipping, you can go to Account Settings and view your EIS enrollment status in Shipping Preferences. We are committed to providing you with the latest updates on tariffs and import regulations, with the ultimate goal of supporting your business through these transitions. To ensure you stay informed, we will continue to update you via multiple channels, including in Seller Central, banners, and other communication platforms. We have created a solid foundation for 2025, and despite tariff and macro uncertainties, we continue to demonstrate our ability to drive sales and generate sustainable long-term growth at eBay. I also want to highlight the ways eBay is supporting its sellers and customers across the US by connecting in person. Late last year, our Motors team met so many sellers at SEMA in Vegas, the largest aftermarket automotive accessory trade show in North America. In February, eBay product teams went to Nashville to host a seller social and met with many local sellers in the area. Then earlier this week, eBay sponsored Collecticon, the nation's largest trading cards, anime, pop-up culture convention, for the first time with a huge booth. And next week, eBay product director Andrew Fasekas and his team are going to be in Las Vegas for Boss Seller Remix, hosted by longtime sellers Katie and Vicky. So we'll be sure to see many of you there. If you aren't able to make it to Vegas for the event, I think Rebecca will let you know about some more local opportunities for sellers at the end of our presentation. And while we work across categories, We've also been making bold moves to modernize our fashion space at the global level. Last fall, we introduced a brand platform and tagline, Things People Love. The campaign debuted with a TV spot during the World Series, with spots across TV, streaming, podcast ads, digital, social media, and so much more. We're expanding on this campaign with the launch of Creator Storefronts, a series of exclusive drops from the closets of fashion and entertainment's most influential figures, including the editors of Who What Wear and drivers of McLaren Racing, Olympic gold medalist Chloe Kim, and the famous fashion designer Margarita Missoni. As passionate eBay customers themselves, these cast members are curating personalized storefronts highlighting their unique fashion finds on eBay at storefronts.ebay.com. Throughout 2025, you'll see this cast amplify our value proposition to their audiences across various forms of media. Let's take a quick look at our influencers unboxing an eBay find.
Okay, eBay.
The place for pre-loved and vintage fashion. eBay, things people love.
If you didn't recognize her, that's Emma Chamberlain, one of our partners in this campaign. On YouTube, she has 12 million followers and 15 million on Instagram with 500,000 monthly podcast listeners. She's incredibly influential with Gen Z, especially those interested in fashion. Another fashion update, starting in mid-February, we expanded our item condition options to provide you with a wider range of choices. We've added pre-owned, excellent, pre-owned good, and pre-owned fair. For more information about this rollout, our apparel team will be hosting a breakout at the end of the main session to learn more about these changes. And of course, as the pioneer of re-commerce, sustainability continues to be core to our eBay values. Last month, we shortlisted winners of this year's eBay Circular Fashion Fund, and we look forward to selecting the finalists who will receive up to $50,000 in funding to expand their business. These groundbreaking small businesses have been leading the way in circular fashion. We're excited to see how these businesses will reshape the industry through sustainability. With that, I'm going to pass off to the product team to give us some quick overviews of updates on everything from listing to learning more about your buyers.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vidisha. I'm a product manager for Buyer Trust and Charity here at eBay. I hope you're having a fantastic time at the event today. Well, I'm very thrilled to be here with you to talk about something that we hope is going to make your selling experience on eBay a little bit easier, more informed, and definitely efficient. And this is our new Q&A module on the View Item page. So next slide, please. Thanks. In our previous research with our sellers, we learned that you often receive repetitive questions from buyers, and answering each question individually can be both frustrating and time-consuming for a lot of our sellers. And trust me, we feel your pain. Well, who likes answering, will this laptop handle my 100 open tabs, or should I start closing some multiple times over, right? And therefore, our new Q&A module is here to save that day. It allows you to add very specific listing level questions and answers so you can address those common queries upfront. Now let's dive deep into how this feature can benefit our customers, both sellers and buyers. For sellers, it'll reduce the time spent responding to repetitive questions from buyers, allowing you to focus on more important aspects of growing your business. It also increases chances of sale and reduce post-transaction issues by helping buyers make more informed purchase decisions. And for buyers, they already have a mental model in terms of expectations, as Q&A module has been an industry standard, and therefore buyers have familiarity with the experience on other e-commerce sites, and they find it helpful for obtaining immediate answers to the questions that they are looking for. So this builds trust, confidence, and transparency in purchasing the item, as Q&A module gives them specific information about the item that is not really available on the item description. Next slide. Thanks. So in order to maximize the effectiveness for this feature, here are the steps we recommend that you take to verify the presence of correct questions and content and integrate any additional relevant questions as needed. So all you need to do is to be on your VO item page on your iOS or Android app. Then you can navigate to the Q&A module, which is below the item description from the seller module. Click on the Manage All Questions button, which opens up a new workflow where you'll find questions and answers for this item. You have the option to add, edit, or remove Q&A on this page. There's also another tab called All Listings, where we recommend putting more generic questions such as account level FAQs. And the content in this tab can only be managed on desktop. So you can go to the account settings on your browser, select Manage Communications with Buyers, select Edit next to what buyers can do, and you'll see the option to add, edit, or remove the Q&As. Regarding the buying experience, we are currently in the process of testing it, beginning with our iOS and Android apps in Q1, and then we'll follow up with the desktop version in Q2 or Q3. And this brings us to the end of this Q&A module. It was a pleasure meeting all of you. I'll now pass the floor to Leah, who will walk us through the buyer insights. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leah, and I'm a product manager at eBay Seller Experience. And today I want to introduce you a useful tool that can help you learn more about your buyers. So imagine you just woke up today, check your phone, and great news, you made a sales overnight. You have over to your orders tab to check out the sold item that you're ready to fulfill the orders. Now, like most sellers, your days probably involve printing shipping labels, packaging items, and making sure everything gets out on time. But let's pause for a second. Have you ever wondered who is buying from you? Maybe it's someone that buys from you regularly, or it is someone that has spent a significant amount of money with you. What if knowing this information can help you boost your repeat sales and strengthen your buyer relationships? At eBay, selling isn't just about a completing transaction. We want to help you, and we encourage you to build relationship with your buyers. A great buying experience will lead to trust, will lead to more positive feedback and repeat business. But maybe without quick insights to the access to buyer insights, it's hard to personalize that experience. So that's why we want to introduce you, and we build Buyer Details, a new feature that puts buyer insight at your fingertips. And yeah. So with Buyer Details, you no longer have to guess who is your buyer. Are they a repeat business? Is this like a familiar name maybe for you? You can directly see the buyer information right on each orders. So if you go to the orders tab for each order, you will see your buyer name. And when you click on it, there will be a module right just like the picture on the right. Let's walk through an example using the reference photo here. So you just receive a buyer, you click on the buyer name, this model pops up, and on the upper top, you will see the buyer details, and it tells you if it's a repeat customer, what's the name of the buyer, what's the buyer ID, where are they located, are they a follower of yours? And going into the middle module, next slide, you will see order history, and on the left, you will see number of orders this buyer has purchased from you from the last 2 years. When you click on it, you will be able to see all the detailed order history in the past 2 years from this order, what item they have bought from you or so. And in the middle module and the last module on the right, it tells you more about the total sales, total items that has been sold that you have sold to these buyers. And last but not least, on the last module, we want you to not only understand the buyer that are purchasing So you can either directly send them a coupon, message them, or leave them a good note, a buyer feedback. So at the end of the day, maybe they are just a one-time seller, but you can directly convert to a repeat seller through the coupon you're sending them here. Next slide. So we want to how you to utilize this and how we think you can utilize this in an efficient way. First of all, we hope that you no longer need to dig into a specific buyer and looking up their history. You can easily ease and access buyer information at ease. Second of all, we hope that it can drive your repeat sales. You can quickly send an exclusive coupon to a buyer. You can quickly send a thank you note saying, hey, here's 10% for your next one. And just like what I mentioned earlier, you can maybe turn a one-time buyer to a loyal customer in the future. And ultimately, we wish this experience can be personalized through this model. And it means that you can interact with them promptly. You can build more trust and happy buyer from your business, and better reviews, more sales, and more growth. Last but not least, at the end of the day, selling on eBay is really not just about listing and shipping. It's about building your business and keeping buyer coming back. And buyer details makes them easier than ever for you. So the next time you fulfill an order, take a second to check out the buyer details, recognize your repeat buyer, send them a coupon, strengthen your relationship. Because the better you know your buyers, the stronger your business can become. And feel free to try it out today and let us know if you have any feedback. And I will pass on to the next product presenter.
Thank you, Leah. Hi, everyone. I'm Jyotsna, and I'm a product manager at eBay in the seller experience team. I'm very happy to be here with you today, and I'll be talking about business policies, how they work, some of the key features, and how they can make your listing experience more efficient. We'd love to know if any of you already use business policies. So if you do, please let us know in the chat. So before we dive in, I want to share some updates from the last year. Over the past year, we've simplified and modernized the business policies experience. We have a few screenshots here. So if you've used business policies before, you'll notice that the new policy creation experience now aligns with and looks very similar to the shipping and the returns section in the listing experience. Along with a refreshed interface, we've also upgraded the underlying technology, which improves the speed and the reliability of business policies. Next slide. For those of you who are not familiar, a very quick overview. Business policies is a tool that helps you streamline the listing process by allowing you to create reusable shipping, returns, and payment policies. These policies can be created once and applied across all of your listings. So instead of repeatedly entering your shipping and return settings when you list your products, you can simply select from a policy that you've previously created. You can opt into business policies from Seller Hub and start creating policies. Let's take a few examples. Next slide, please. So these are the steps through which you can create your shipping policy. Let's take a couple of examples. If for a lot of your listings, you like to provide buyers with 2 shipping options, standard shipping and expedited shipping, then instead of selecting 2 shipping policies in every single listing, you can create a shipping policy with these 2 shipping services and all the other shipping information like your cost, handling time, etc. And then when you're listing, which is the screen that you see on the bottom right, you can simply select this policy from the dropdown and you're done. Let's take another example. If you like to provide free shipping for products over $100, you can create a second shipping policy with free shipping. And when you're listing higher value products, you can select this shipping policy from the dropdown in the listing experience. Let's take one last example for the kind of policies you can create. Let's say you have some items which you would only like to sell domestically and not ship internationally. You can create a policy where you exclude international locations and again, select that policy when you're listing. So as you can see, if most of your listings follow a few consistent patterns in terms of shipping and returns, business policies can save you a lot of time and effort spent on listing. Now, let's say you have a 2-day handling time and you realize that you've been getting your orders out of the door within a day. You can come back to the policy and update the handling time from 2 days to 1 day, and that will automatically update all the listings which are associated with that policy. So this way, whenever there are any updates that you want to make to your listings, you can do that very quickly by simply updating the policy. Next slide, please. Now, let's go a little bit beyond the basics. Over time, as your business grows and your listings increase, so do your policies, and they can get a little hard to manage. So, here we have the Manage Policies page where you can view how many listings are associated with each policy on the right hand side. If you click on that button, you will also be able to see all the listings, individual listings, which are within every single policy. Now, the other important feature here that can be very helpful is the reassign button on the top right. Let's say you have a shipping service which has become very expensive, and you want to move your listings from the policy which has this service to another policy which has a cheaper service. You can simply click on that policy, click on the reassign button on the top right, and once you do that, you will be able to move all the listings from this policy to any other shipping policy. Next slide, please. In the end, I'm going to leave you with one tip. Your policies might start to pile up over time. So if you have a lot of policies with 0 listings, you can click on the Delete Inactive Policies button on the top right, and that will delete all the policies with 0 listings. And if you have a lot of policies with 1 or 2 listings or a handful of listings, try to consolidate them into a few key policies using the reassign functionality that I just shared. That way, you can keep your policies and listings well organized. That's it on business policies. Thank you for your time. Up next, we have a special interview to discuss AI innovations at eBay with Amanda and Heather.
Hello, sellers, and thank you for having me at your Spring Seller Check-In. I'm Heather Thibodeau. After your last Winter Seller Check-In, we surveyed you and asked what you wanted to hear more about in 2025, and AI was at the top of your wish lists. A little bit about me. I'm in the core AI team here at eBay, and I'm leading the AI product team. And we have the privilege of building, researching in different AI topics and building fun capabilities that hopefully make the eBay experience easier for both buyers and sellers. And now I want to introduce you to Amanda Rowland. She's was named an up and running grantee last year. And so Amanda, welcome. Thank you. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Amanda Rowland. I live in North Carolina. I've been on eBay since 1999 when I did this as a fun hobby. And I just completed my 5th year as a full-time reseller. My inventory is very eclectic. I sell anything from random items in the house that we no longer use to thrifted hard goods and soft goods clothing. I like to do retail arbitrage, and I even like a little bit of bin sourcing for overstock inventory. My favorite inventory, though, is nostalgic vintage. I love finding items that someone else is looking for to complete their set or to reminisce about their childhood. I, this past year, have recruited my mom and my sister to open eBay accounts, and they exclusively do jewelry. I help them day to day in their listings.
Wow. I love that you not only have the benefits of working for yourself, but you also share the love of selling and helping your family in the process. That's really amazing. We'll talk a bit about your store in just a little bit. But the AI team at eBay, we've been growing our suite of features that harness AI to simplify and enhance the listing and shopping experience for both small businesses like yourself and casual sellers on the platform like your family. So Amanda, I'd love to hear more about what parts of the listing process you do versus your family.
Yes, my family's favorite part is acquisition. They buy bulk jewelry, so they get large boxes of jewelry and lots of different quality. They love sorting. It's like Christmas for them, so they get to do all the fun things. And then they like using the AI tools to find out exactly what each item is and to come up with titles and descriptions. My sister does most of the photographs, and they do the day-to-day shipping of sold items because they hold the inventory at their home. I actually do the day-to-day customer service aspect, and I manage the account for my mom. And I also do helping with listing completion by adding details into the listing, doing quality check, and then maintaining any needed changes to that over time or relisting or adjusting. Uh, Once we have working titles, my mom is really loving the AI description tool to pull out details out of that title and out of those items, the item specifics that we have added into the listing. And then I can go in and tweak behind her. I don't use it in my own listings as a older seller, but for new sellers, this tool could be really nice. Especially if you're not familiar with the item that you've picked up that you're selling.
That's great. So a little bit more about our AI listing tool. So this new feature can save you time, as Amanda was talking about. It can save you time by suggesting attention-grabbing item descriptions at the touch of a button. You can use either the suggested description as it is, or you can customize it pretty easily to add more detail, adjust it for accuracy, like if the AI gets some aspect about it wrong, or you can adjust it to more fit your business's unique voice. Try it out today to get your listings up and running faster than ever before. So one feature I did notice you taking advantage of when I was looking at your store was the new background removal tool and AI generated backgrounds. I especially noticed this in your seasonal decor section of your store. Can you give us some examples of when you prefer to use the background removal tool and when you use the AI generated backgrounds to enhance your photo?
Yeah, I really like to use items that have a sharp, crisp, smooth edge to them, such as boxed items that are square, rectangle, whatnots that are 3D dimensional. I do like to do it with some clothing even. I have a mannequin, and if they have bright colors and smooth edges, it's really good on that. Particularly, I like to use the studio and the surface options. Those are my two kind of go-to. First, the AI captures the image and then it gives it a white background. Sometimes clothing, I'll just leave that white background. It just is sleek and nice. And then other times, especially on hard goods, I will go into the studio portion of it and allow it to give shadowing. It will give dimensional shadowing on the edges and behind just a little bit to make it pop on there. The surface images that I also like to use is the option for wood with soft edges. It works really well with dimensional items to create a wooden background that looks kind of like a countertop. It can also reminisce and look like the surface of a shelf, or it could look like a countertop if it's a kitchen item, which is really nice. It also gives that very soft background that looks like it could be in your home. So it gives you that idea that it's in your house and what it would look like on your countertops. Jewelry, my sister and mom really like to do on displays. And those displays are a chest bust or an arm for bracelets. They do really well with the AI background, I found, where it will place them really nicely on a flat surface with a contrasting light background. So we'll have a darker wood background with a light background, and that lends really well. Plus, it takes those images when it initially captures very well, I found, especially for intricate items such as jewelry. If you have a flat item, I like to use that studio option where flat items will be given those soft shadows. And it really does to bring just a little bit of dimension to things like flat pendants and cameos. And just giving it just a depth to those. I started using the tool from day one. And I've seen the improvements over time in the capturing and also in the options that it's giving for backgrounds. There is more backgrounds available and more contrasting colors. I do see improvements in the pixelation and the quality of the finished product. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else that can do.
Great. Thank you for that feedback. That's wonderful to hear how you're using these tools. So just a little bit more info for those of you who may not have been exposed to the AI background tool. So eBay sellers have had the ability to automatically remove the image backgrounds and replace them with a clean white background since the feature was added in 2020. And then we upgraded it with significant improvements, as mentioned by Amanda, in 2023. We're not done yet, but background enhancement, it really builds on the functionality of the background removal, and it takes it to the next level. It's still early days, and we're continuing to garner like more and more feedback from sellers as well as buyers on their impressions of what these images are like. And we really want to be able to iterate to continue to create the best experience for our customers. So this background enhancement feature, it's powered by open source deep learning, also in-painting. These are in-painting models such as Stable Diffusion for those of you who are deeper into the AI world. We pair that also with eBay's vast amount of anonymous data and power that with our infrastructure. So in the coming year, visual generation models will be fine-tuned on that feedback loop of sellers' utilization. So like I said, the team is constantly iterating on this tool to make it better and more useful. So I'm really, really glad to hear that you've been seeing improvements, Amanda. But what areas do you think, what are the other areas you think we can improve on?
For me, it's going to be that initial item being generated and pulled. I am finding that once it generates that item with a white background, there is no going back and recapturing it a second time. It kind of sticks to those little imperfections. I would like to see that where it can like rescan again and get a fresh a scan of the item. I'm looking for a wider selection of unique backgrounds. How the AI is working now, it's learning as it is doing those backgrounds for you and generating it. So many of those backgrounds are very similar, but have slight differentiations in shadowing and in the background, maybe coloration or putting other objects in there. But I would like to see some new colors and also that improved background. I do find that once it does create that background around your item, it can lose a little bit of the quality pixelation, especially around the edges of the item. I'm looking for that, and I know that I'll see that soon because I see that in other AI-generated apps and features. So I'm looking forward to those. But I am saying that in just the last few weeks, I've seen improvements in all of those areas.
That's great to hear. Thank you. Thank you for that additional feedback. So like eBay's other AI-powered offerings, the background enhancement tool was built in close collaboration with eBay's responsible AI team to ensure really that this technology is implemented in a fair and safe way, and to really mitigate any unintended consequences. We take this very, very seriously at eBay. So it was imperative to ensure that as the tool enhanced product photographs, that it didn't misrepresent items or their conditions. And really, we're allowing a lot of user guidance incorporated in the experience and planning even more within this listing process to really remind sellers to check for accuracy in the images that they do select and to remind them to be transparent about the role of AI where it's appropriate. And we know all of our savvy eBay sellers are always creating efficiencies in their processes. Amanda, tell me, how else are you using AI to help you in the listing process or in your business in general?
For my business in general, AI is available right at the touch of our fingers on our phones. My Samsung has so many AI features already built into it, where at the touch of a button, I can just hold, circle, search. It uses Google, the AI overview when circling just a quick photo. So while I'm outsourcing, I can take a quick photo of something on a shelf. it will pull up Google AI. It will give me the comps that are current right now and listed items that are out there. eBay pops up very close to the top, and a lot of times I can use that sell similar feature, especially if I'm on the run and I'm not sure what the item quite is, but I want to get it. Getting that sell similar feature plugged in, a quick rough draft just started. And then once I'm home, I can start taking those photographs and just pulling up a first photograph. Then Google has just opened up the Google Gemini app available to us. I think it just came out in the last couple of weeks. I have downloaded it. I can actually upload a photo to it, and it opens up a generated description. It gives history of the item if possible, the history of the type of workmanship that's on the item. It gives those key title words that we're looking for to plug into our title. And even sometimes it gives a lot of those item feature details that we're looking to put into the listing. I am really enjoying those tools. So those are used while creating those titles. And then from there, my mom loves using that AI generation tool from eBay on doing the description. I do quality check, and then we list and publish right from there. So I'm really enjoying a lot of the new AI tools that are out there. I'm using them daily and in every one of my listings at this point. We're getting a little bit of it.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. So we've been working on a similar tool at eBay to allow image-based listing, first rolling out in trading cards, but then slowly rolling out into other categories. So this new image-based magical listing tool, we call it, allows sellers, like you described, Amanda, with some of the other tools you're using, but it allows sellers to take or upload a photo in the eBay app and watch AI fill in the item information details. So from this simple photo, AI can write titles, descriptions, and add other vital information like product attributes, if you will. And then that it can also include like product release date, detailed category, subcategory, and then combine with eBay's other kind of tech offerings to suggest a listing price and shipping cost. And this addresses what we like to call a cold start issue, in which first-time sellers or newer sellers can find it really overwhelming with the amount of information that's required to really create that competitive listing, things that seasoned sellers like yourself really know a lot about, but newer to the platform, they just don't know what will really help that item sell. So this is where AI can just plug in and do the work for people. And so this really, we are very hopeful that this will help with that, make the whole process easier for everyone, both new and seasoned sellers. And so, making it like as soon as you're ready to sell, your listing's ready to post. That's really our aspiration. So Amanda, it's been really great to speak with you. I really appreciate the feedback that you've given us on the AI tools. I'll take that back to the team and see what we can do. It's always great to hear directly from sellers like yourself. And yeah, passing it back to you, Rebecca.
Well, thank you so much, Heather and Amanda. That was really interesting. I know I learned something myself. I saw a few questions in the chat that I wanted to mention, specifically about white background. Interestingly, that's no longer required by Google to showcase your items. And really, any background that highlights your item and represents it accurately is a recommendation now. But Heather and Amanda, thanks for all of that great information about AI. And everyone, remember that there is actually going to be a breakout session all about AI. And I also saw people saying, can we get a visual example of this? And I think there will be at least one in that breakout session. So join that if you want to learn more. Now, speaking of amazing sellers doing amazing things, in our opening video, we featured sellers who had attended every seller check-in last year. Thank you to everyone who showed up. And in this section, we're going to feature some other influential sellers who are leaders in your community. Now, if you remember, during registration for this event, we asked you all a few questions related to your selling journey on eBay. And from your responses, our team combed through and selected a few to highlight. So let's check them out. First and foremost, I want to recognize our longest tenured eBay seller in attendance here today, username 1966 ***. Thank you so much for all of your years on eBay. This seller has been selling since October of 1995, which is practically day one here of eBay's existence. So thank you to your commitment to eBay and to all of your contributions to the marketplace. And then we also want to welcome one of the very newest eBay sellers in attendance. That's Jay Freeman, ND. They just created their eBay selling account in January of 2025. Great time to join us. And it's so fantastic to see you're already participating in our selling community. So thank you for joining us at eBay, and thanks for being here today. Now, let's talk about some of the stories that we read from you. And what we got to hear was some of your favorite customer moments. One story that definitely stood out was from seller Forgotten Likeness. This seller primarily sells vintage photos and was miraculously able to provide a woman photos of her father from World War II after many of the remaining photos she had of him were lost in a fire. What a way to save memories for people, the magic of eBay, right? We have another story from New Leaf Galleria. One customer shared a story with New Leaf Galleria about a specific vintage mug that was really special to him and his wife. And this mug brought back memories of when they were first married. And this connection and finding that mug from New Leaf Galleria led to several more items purchased and more memories shared. And then finally, this was a great story. It was all about the community from Avon Ridge. This seller actually loves attending their local Mid-Atlantic eBay meeting. And they always come away with new ideas as well as making friends, having good company. Besides engaging with customers, something else that really excites us is moments where we can engage with all of you in the selling community, like this seller check-in, our various seller socials in local areas, and of course, can't forget the community forums. So we asked all of you to share some examples from your experiences in the seller community, and we got great responses. First off, I want to highlight Orion Kane's experience of attending a community event and learning about eBay store newsletters from some fellow sellers. And after testing it out, they said it led to an increase in repeat buyers to their account. So I definitely recommend that you check out newsletters. American Artifacts had a similar experience attending a seller meeting and learning about the AI background offerings that we were just hearing about. They said they're already seeing higher conversions on listings with photos where they've upgraded the backgrounds. And then we have an example from Resi99 who leveraged EIS, eBay International Shipping, after an eBay event last year. And they found it's the best way for them to ship internationally and access a lot more buyers. Definitely recommend EIS. So we also heard from a lot of sellers about their favorite learnings today. And so we also want to give all of you an opportunity to share as well. So please share in the chat what selling tool or area you are interested in learning more about. And my team are going to select 20 responses to receive $100 eBay gift cards. This is a separate and different giveaway from the Instagram one. I know some people don't have Instagram, don't like social media, totally fine. So we have an opportunity for you to win right here in the event today. So let us know how we can help take you and your business to the next level in the chat. We will select randomly 20 responses, and we will be in touch via email, the email that you registered for the event with, and we'll notify you next week. Now, I've talked a lot about seller meetings, and I want to extend the most enormous heartfelt thank you to everyone who hosts seller meetings all across the country. These volunteers are connecting eBay sellers all over the country. I think we have like 60 chapters all across the country. And they're hosting in their local communities so that sellers who live near each other can get to know each other. And today, I want to recognize two of our most successful hosts, eBay sellers, The Hippo Hut and Lady Funky G. The Hippo Hut hosted the most total meetings in 2024, so thank you. Thank you for your commitment and for being a leader in your selling community. And then we also want to recognize Lady Funky G, whose seller meeting group, RVA, eBay Seller Meeting, had the highest attendance of all meetings in 2024. So thank you for connecting so many sellers in your local community. And then last, but absolutely not least, I want to take a moment to recognize all of our amazing online community mentors. Now, for those who aren't aware, community mentors are volunteers who provide guidance, support, some advice in the eBay community forums from their firsthand perspective as very, very experienced sellers. The mentors we see on this slide authored more than 4,800 solutions to questions in the community forums in 2024, and it is a tremendous resource. I highly recommend checking it out. Very special thank yous to Comics Sci-Fi Collectibles, to Mr. Lincoln, to E. Burton Lab, to Eastian Eve, and Disney Shopper. Your contributions and the support of the entire seller community are so appreciated by all of us. Thank you. Now, we highlighted a few seller meeting hosts a minute ago, but I would also like to highlight some upcoming meetings going on all across the US. And I think we even have one virtual event happening tonight. And I don't mean this one, I mean another one hosted by sellers. So check that out. And we're going to drop a link in the chat right now to RSVP to both these local and virtual meetings. Beyond the meetings taking place this March, there are many other groups all across the country. So if you didn't see one just now, take a moment to find a meeting in your area and scan the QR code. I hope it works this time. Sorry about that little hiccup earlier. Anyway, so you can also visit the link that we're dropping in the chat to find your local chapter. And we're always looking to expand our local meetings. So via the link, you could start your own chapter if you want to, if you don't see your location represented. We make it really easy. You don't have to be like a super extrovert or anything. You just want to get to know other sellers in your area. And we're there to help all along the way if you want to start one. And with that, I think we're ready to move on to our final order of business for the day. So last year at eBay Open, you heard Dawn announce that for eBay's 30th anniversary this year, we will be bringing back a larger in-person event. And we're still in planning mode for that biggest event of the year, but we thought we'd give you a little sneak peek on what month we will be hosting both the in-person and virtual eBay Open 2025. So we will be seeing you this summer in August. Mark your calendars, it's coming in August. And with that, we are nearing the end of our main section for the Spring Seller Check-In, but I want to thank all of you for coming out to this event. We'll now take a quick break, maybe 5-7 minutes, and everyone can stretch their legs, maybe get a drink of water, and we'll come back to start the next segment of this event. We have 4 deep dive sessions, which you can find in the session tab on the left-hand side of your screen. Afterward, we'll have quite a few sellers ready to chat in our networking rooms. We have all the topics that you see listed out.
Okay, guys, what do you think? I think it was a fantastic conference. Learned a lot, and I appreciate everyone tuning into this episode. Don't forget, it's in August. I'll let you know as soon as I know the date. Don't forget, also check out my YouTube channel, Talking eBay on YouTube. I have all the information on there as well. All the podcasts are on there as well as helpful videos. If you have any questions or any comments, or if you want a store review, check out our channel. Also, reach out to me at talkingebay23@gmail.com. Again, that's talkingebay23@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you at the next episode.